I walked out over a chair, and my family tore itself apart. I wasn't gonna come back here again. To be honest, I'd completely forgotten I made this account. I only got back in because I'd written down the password and left it in my desk. I was listening to Reddit videos on YouTube a couple weeks ago when I suddenly heard my old AITA post. So I thought I'd give an update. Well, things escalated a lot after I made that post because I linked it to my parents and other family members after a little while. They were furious with me at first. Some even mocked me, saying things like, "Oh, watch what you say or do around OP. He might just post about it on Reddit." But when they actually read the comments on my post when I made them, they became mortified. My BIL did agree to pay for a new chair, and gave me the money I asked for. I bought a better folding chair than my last one, and resumed going to family functions. But whenever I was there was this air about some of the family members. They looked at me like I'd sucked all the fun out of the room. My parents had stopped thinking the chair thing was funny, and even scolded a kid for taking my seat when I got up to use the bathroom. The only problem is that this kid was my nephew. And he started crying when they made him get up. My BIL came to the boy's rescue, and my nephew ended up blurting out that his daddy told him he could do it. When I was out of the bathroom, there was a big fight about it going on. Several family members, including my sister and BIL, were all yelling that it was just a damn chair. And I shouldn't be so butthurt about it. My parents demanded to know why they were so butthurt about not being allowed to screw with me anymore. Like, what was their motivation after doing it for so long? It made no sense and wasn't funny anymore. And that's when I intervened. I told them none of this crap would have ever happened if they hadn't been so intent on messing with me when there really was no point to it. And I only started bringing my own chair because I could never find a stable place to sit. And if they still thought they were in the right about the situation, then they were just bullies, plain and simple. And what kind of example is that to be setting for their son? My BIL raged, grabbed my new chair and hurled it through the living room bay window. There was a bit of a pause before he realized what he'd just done, then he took off in his car and left my sister and nephew there. My parents got my sister to call him, and over the phone they threatened to go to police if he didn't pay for the damages. BIL yelled a few F-bombs until my sister took the phone back. And she said that he can either make things right, or she'll divorce him. Well, that did the trick, because he came back looking like a kicked puppy with his head hanging low. He apologized to me and my parents without even looking at us, said he'd pay for the new bay window and left again. My sister said he drank himself to sleep that night. My new chair was just fine. It took being hurled through a bay window like a champ. There was hardly a scratch on it. My brother hired a window company to come and replace the window. And they had to measure and order a new one before it could be installed. And until then the window had to be covered with plywood. It took some time, but they got the new bay window. And it's better than the old one. Though I imagine that it was extra expensive because it's a bay window. The family was still divided about the situation for a while. Mainly BIL's parents, my uncle, and a couple cousins. They blamed me and called me obnoxious over insisting on bringing my own chair and refusing to let anyone else use it. So I compromised. I said that if I had a good designated seat that no one will try to take away, I'll leave my chair in my car. It took 2 more family barbecues before they finally agreed to this. Since then I've left the chair in my car unless there really wasn't enough seating. And that's only happened once since. The problem is, though, that even though they stopped screwing with me, they were still screwing with each other until things went too far. They still liked to take each other's seats. But I guess others were following my example, because they put their feet down and demanded it stop. It's been going on for decades, and they've had enough. BIL stayed out of the fight entirely and hasn't caused any more trouble. But for several family functions a number of people didn't bother to show up. My mother was broken up about it because she loves hosting parties. It took months, but everything more or less normalized again. But without the chair thing going on, some have resorted to other stupid pranks. Like a little device you hook to a chair that makes farts. They didn't do this to my seat, but did it to a cousin. And said cousin got really petty at the next party and let out real farts. He said he ate a whole pack of fiber bars and had eggs for breakfast. And it was damn nasty. Other pranks included hiding eating utensils, a stink bomb, hiding some sort of monster thing in the toilet, cellophane in a doorway, ripping paper when somebody bends over, messing with drinks, hiding shoes, copying outfits, a container of foam packing peanuts above a doorway, and finally the one that really infuriated my aunt and uncle when a party was held at their house. A glitter bomb. They got the carpet professionally cleaned and billed the person who made the glitter bomb for it. So now pranks are just over. They don't want any more. I'm fine with that. But the last few family functions have been a bit dull. I think they were so used to how things were that now they're trying to find other ways to amuse themselves that don't involve cell phones. Edit: the chair is a National Public Seating steel folding chair. I bought it online for around $80. It's got a thick foam vinyl covered pad on the seat. And it's pretty comfortable. Now let's look at the comment. Did no one, other than you, ever mature past adolescence in your family? The level of immaturity is astonishing. People, especially family, should be able to enjoy hanging around, even joking, without bullying someone constantly. To target you specifically at every gathering was cruel. Glad you put an END to it and exposed BAL for the angry, cruel bully that he was as just glorious justice. I hope he got some much-needed anger management, but it sounds like he learned his lesson and your nephew may have also learned a valuable lesson as well. Hopefully you and your family can arrange some games to play during your get-togethers. Our family plays bocce balls or cornhole and sometimes we play games on our smart TV that sync to our phones, like You Don't Know Jack or other individual and team games, most times with hilarious results. Time to start new family traditions. Best wishes and many blessings. That's awesome that you taking a stand encouraged others to do so as well. As for the rest of it, I think it'll all work itself out. Some people will stop showing up, others will continue. Maybe they should start thinking about investing in some outside games. Like giant Jenga asterisk, cornhole, etc. Give them something to do and put their energy into. Parties are pretty awkward and dull if there isn't a focus to it, or a schedule. Which is why wedding or birthday parties have events. Maybe come up with themes or different activities for each get-together.